is a great question to ask people. Tell me about the best boss you ever had. Very rarely will you hear people describe the best boss they ever had like this. Oh, best boss I ever had, she was amazing. She was amazing. She was unbelievably, almost pathologically controlling. She told me exactly what to do and precisely how to do it. She was incredibly controlling, and as a consequence, I was utterly compliant. It was the best working relationship of my life.
The leaders set the tone, which we've known for a while, but the ability of leaders to build an emotionally intelligent organization and therefore build competitive advantage, I think, is a very exciting concept.
EQ isn't simply a matter of putting on your game face. It means understanding yourself and your impact on those around you.
What we've seen in our lifetime is a monumental shift away from industrial age capitalism driven by the pursuit of self-interest and profit maximization towards an emotional capitalism that is fueled by a growing sense of emotional and environmental consciousness and deeply held universal human values.
I don't think we've published a single issue of HBR in my tenure, which is about 3 years, that hasn't featured at least one article exploring the concept.
Debunking some of the myths around what underlines high-performing teams, where harmony comes from, how teams interact and deal with conflict and problems in a productive way that allows them to move on as opposed to become corrosive. And then how do we take those two things, a sense of better self and then better teams, and convert it into a better business?
And our job in leadership is to show up, not intimidate people, not bore people, but try to inspire them to reach their potential. There's only two ways you can influence human behavior. You can either manipulate it through a series of sticks and carrots, nothing wrong with that, not being pejorative at all. Sometimes that's very appropriate. You need to call people account for their behavior. But the real power of leadership influence is inspiration. And for that, you've got to have a set of emotional skills to connect with people.
Empathy, I think, I'm learning, is probably the single most important skill when you get right to the top of an organization.
Daniel Pink was saying, this is about performance, this is about bottom lines, it's about helping people, but this is also about how do we reduce stress? So the kind of natural byproduct of emotional intelligence is actually stress reduction.
Management is just something that some guy invented. It's a technology. It's a technology for organizing people into productive capacities. Turns out there are 3 enduring motivators for long-term motivation. They are autonomy, mastery, and purpose.
Care for your employees. Show that you care for them. Do all you can to see that they care for each other. And I think my sense is, untested hypothesis, cultivate the cognitive, the attentional, and the cognitive intelligence, and you get emotional intelligence for free.
It's understanding the things you care about, understanding the deeper feelings, how you manage those emotions and how they erupt into behavior.
I think one of the great things about this kind of summit here is that it's another force in saying to businesses out there, you have a choice here. You can do practices that go against the grain of human nature, or you can start doing things that go with the grain of human nature. I think it's easier to do stuff with the grain of human nature, and I think it's a way for us to do things that make us better, along with being better off.
How you adapt to change and tolerate difference, how you build trust, shared agendas, collaborative cultures, develop resilience in the face of setback. These are the sorts of skills. The questions are all different, but the answers are the same. Build emotional intelligence, increase the value of emotional capital inside the organization. These are the skills that, as Amy suggested, set the most exceptional men and women apart.